clipboard circulating. If folks would please sign in for our reporting purposes, it would be nice to know how many people were here. And there's also an option that you can check if you want to be on our mailing list. So the clipboard is somewhere. It'll resurface in a few minutes.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the DA Candidate Forum. And on behalf of the Humboldt County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council and the Child Abuse Prevention Coordinating Council of Humboldt County, we welcome each one of you. We're extremely grateful to the candidates for consenting to be a part of this momentous occasion. And so I think I will introduce myself. And I'm Sherry Johnson. I am the chair of the Humboldt County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council. And
my name is Connie Thunberg, and I'm the chair for the Child Abuse Prevention Coordinating Council of Humboldt County. We're going to do a little brief overview of our councils, and I'm going to start first. Child Abuse Prevention Coordinating Council was first established in 1978 as the Child Trauma Council. In 1985, legislation was passed that legislated or provided statutory authority for a child abuse council in every county. And at that time, actually in 1986, the Child Trauma Council became incorporated as a nonprofit organization and changed its name to the Child Abuse Prevention Coordinating Council of Humboldt County, which we fondly call CAPC because the other is quite long. And the CAPC then is made up of general members, a volunteer board, and a coordinating consultant. Few of the functions that the child abuse councils are charged with, as defined by the Welfare and Institutions Code, include providing a forum for interagency cooperation and coordination, promoting public awareness of child abuse and neglect issues, and promoting and supporting high-quality programs that successfully reduce child abuse and neglect.
so I'm just going to draw attention to our timekeepers, and they have little signs there, and they just gave us the 1-minute sign, so I will just in 30 seconds tell you. Oh no, I get my 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. The Humboldt County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council was formed initially in 1994, and we are a partnership of public and private agencies and individuals who are committed to a constant and coordinated countywide response to domestic violence. Our primary focus is the safety of victim survivors and the accountability and treatment of the people who batter. We are committed to preventing domestic violence at all levels, from changing the intergenerational dynamics to changing community attitudes and beliefs. I think ultimately we are dedicated to the elimination of intimate partner violence and the creation of a community of safety and well-being. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to just review the agenda with everyone in the format for this evening. What we're going to do is we have each candidate is going to be allowed a 3-minute opening statement. Then we have some questions that have been scripted that the candidates have received, and we will do an alternate style format. I'll ask a question, Sherry will ask a question, and there will be some follow-up questions from Paula and Susan, who are seated right in front of us. There will be no formal rebuttal period, and each question will have a 3-minute time limit, with the follow-up questions having a 2-minute time limit. Timekeepers are over here, and they will keep us on task, and we will help also enforce the time requirements.
And then at 7:20, we will entertain questions from the audience. So there are cards located back there on the table with Mr. Damiano. And there's also cards in the front when you came in. And the cards will be used for the questions from you, and they'll be condensed and sorted by Mr. Damiano. No questions about current or specific cases will be accepted. There will be a couple of people, Chris and Jackie, if you can just sort of indicate who you are. If you have a card with a question on it, you can hold it up, and our card gatherers will come by and get your card from you. And there'll be 2-minute responses for each audience question.
Okay, so prior to us starting tonight, we did a coin toss to see who got to go first, and Mr. Gallegos is going first, and here's the first question. What is your understanding of the relationship between domestic violence and...
Opening
I
statement.
thought there
Oh,
was an opening.
sorry.
You just jump right in
It's
there.
okay.
That's fine. Certainly, I have no problem jumping right into that.
I'm sorry.
So we want an opening statement
Opening
from each
statement.
candidate, and I believe, Mr. Gallegos, you're going first.
Yes, you are.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council for hosting this and all of you for coming here tonight. I also want to bring attention to the fact that next month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so this is certainly fitting as well. Thank you for being here. I know this is a very important topic for everyone in Humboldt County, throughout the state of California and our country. Domestic violence is a pervasive problem in our communities, here and elsewhere. It is a complicated and nuanced problem that requires complicated and nuanced solutions. It requires community involvement. It requires collaboration and partnerships with governmental and non-governmental organizations. It requires understanding, and it requires compassion, because victims are victimized by their loved ones. Victims are victimized by their loved ones, and they need safety from their loved ones, the very people that they rely on to protect them. Violence at the hand of their male partners is the #1 cause of death in women. It's the #1 cause of violence for women. That's completely unacceptable. We as a community need to shift the paradigm. We need to understand that we all need to participate in this. It is not a private issue. This is a community issue. The people in my office are committed to this community and committed to working to make this community safe. We understand that the only way to get safe streets is to have safe homes. We understand the complexities, we understand the difficulties, and we work every day to get better at addressing this issue in our communities. Once again, I thank you for your attendance and for putting on this very important meeting. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you also. I'd like to thank the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council, along with the Child Abuse Prevention Coordinating Council, for having this forum tonight. This is extremely important to me. I received my degrees from San Francisco State University in the areas of interdisciplinary studies in the social sciences, as well as criminal justice and political science. I worked for the ACLU as an intern, putting together a resource book for women and children who had immigration problems and needed help with domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse. The first portion of my career, or first 2/3 of my career, I spent as a prosecutor focusing on special victims. And when I say special victims, I mean survivors of domestic violence, survivors of child abuse, survivors of sexual assault. I take these subjects very seriously. I've spent a lifetime demonstrating my commitment in these areas. Therefore, I'm very, very glad to be able to address you tonight. Most people in here may know or may not know, I'm not sure, that from 97 to 2004, I was a senior attorney assigned to the Child Abuse Services Team unit with the District Attorney's Office, where I expanded it from simply sexual assault investigations to incorporate physical abuse, neglect of children, as well also incorporating interviews with people that were developmentally challenged. I was a past member of the Sexual Assault Response Team for many years and a past chairperson. I understand the importance regarding domestic violence and child maltreatment. This is one of the reasons I've decided to run for district attorney. I believe these cases need to be refocused and reprioritized, and I've decided to run because of the urging of many of you in this room today, so thank you. I intend, if elected, to refocus the district attorney's office, to get back to what I believe is central for our community, and that is a refocus towards domestic violence and child maltreatment, and a refocus towards building cases with respect to sexual assault. So again, I'd like to thank the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council and the Child Abuse Prevention Coordinating Council for hosting what I believe is an incredibly important forum tonight. Thank you.
Now we're ready for questions. So the first question goes to Mr. Gallegos. What is your understanding of the relationship between domestic violence and child maltreatment?
There is an absolute positive relationship between domestic violence and child maltreatment. Unequivocally, the mere witnessing of domestic violence in children is a form of abuse. It is traumatic. We have overwhelming studies that show the long-term impact of witnessing domestic violence in children. The very dynamic that leads to violence against a loved one often leads to violence against children. Children are used in this power struggle that adults, but generally males, have in domestic relationships. They are used as pawns. They are victimized. They are used to keep a woman in a situation where she is a victim because she wants to protect her children. They are often used as tools of loyalty. They are unequivocally victims, and this is something that we must work to address. We know that what we have work to do with our local law enforcement agencies is work more and more to identify children when they are responding to domestic violence calls. We need them as witnesses. We want to provide services to them, and we want them to be brought to the Child Abuse Services Team interview process so that we can adequately, forensically interview them for possible prosecution for child abuse cases as well as the domestic abuse case. So there is an absolute positive correlation. There is a violent behavior that this person is engaging in that affects people in their lives. People and animals, that is how they act out. So I say I have 1 minute. I just want to say I think anyone that deals with domestic violence understands this. I think that we know that there is much more work to do in this arena. I know that law enforcement is working harder to get this information to us, and that we continue to work towards improve the information we have so that we can successfully prosecute these cases as well. Thank you.
What is my understanding between the relationship of DV and child maltreatment? Well, other than what is immediately recognizable, and that is the fact that perpetrators of domestic violence often act out in physically and emotionally violent ways directly towards a child. There is a very common dynamic that is found in DV situations where you've got children, and that is the perpetrator of the violence uses the